So I gotta confess, week 9 wasn't exactly the best week for me with my picks. Yeah, granted, I went 10-4, picking the winners straight up. That's kind of amateur hour stuff. It was only 6-8 against the spread, where at least some of the money can be made. So for the season, that brings me to 93-40, picking the winners straight up. I'll take that record. That's pretty good because I'm picking all the games. I'm not just cherry picking and deep diving on a few. 74-60 against the spread. Winning record, yes. Not something that you're going to call me some Vegas guru, that is for sure. So with that said, let me go ahead and give you my slate of picks for Week 10 of this 2020 NFL season. Got off to a rip-roaring start on Thursday night. The Titans were favored by 1, and it felt like, hey, Colts on a short week on the road coming off of the loss to Baltimore. Titans coming off of a win against the Bears. Like, Titans would be well-positioned, and it ain't happen, that's for sure. So Colts won big, and I'm already 0 for 1 in both categories for the week. So yeehaw! Starting off with a bang. Weird kind of slate of action this week. You got more late games on Sunday than you do the early games, which certainly owes a lot to the fact that you got the Masters going on Sunday. And this feels really weird to say the Masters, a tradition unlike any other, happening in November and not in its normal, kind of second weekend of April slot. Like, 2020 is just weird in so many different ways, and it's bad in so many different ways. And certainly I'll be watching the Masters on Sunday. It is a tradition for me, but all the while it's going to feel really weird. You're not going to have the roaring crowds of Augusta. It's not going to be a springtime 75, 80 degree day down in Georgia. You're going to see leaves changing color instead of leaves blooming. Like, it's just weird. So for these early Sunday games, enough of that diatribe. You got the Texans traveling to the Browns. Cleveland 4-point favorites. I'll take Cleveland minus the 4. You've got Washington traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions, and who knows what the hell to make out of this game. I'm assuming Alex Smith is the guy going forward for Washington. Who knows what that's going to mean? He kind of tried to lead a comeback last week against the Giants, but then he also threw 3 picks. So it wasn't all there. And again, with the Lions, you don't know from one week to the next what the hell they're going to do. I got to pick somebody to have an upset this week. So I'm going to take Washington to win plus the 4. I really don't feel that confident in the Lions. Not saying that I feel incredibly confident in Washington either, but hey, even with where they sit, they still got to feel like they have a chance at that division, the NFC least, so that might inspire them to play well on Sunday. You got the Jags traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Admittedly, I don't know, is Minshew still going to be out for a while, and is it going to be Luton's team for a while? I will take Green Bay minus the 13.5. Philly travels to New York, another NFC least battle to take on the Giants. I'm really surprised the Eagles are 4-point favorites here. Because last time I checked, didn't these teams just play a couple of weeks ago on Thursday night, and the Eagles had to come back and win by a point? So why are the Eagles getting so much action here to where the line is Philly minus 4? That just feels really weird to me. I like the Giants in this game, actually. Give me New York to win plus the 4. You got Tampa coming off of that blowout loss to New Orleans on Sunday night last week, 38-3, traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers, who gave a relatively game effort under Matt Rule against the defending Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs, last week. Tampa's favored by 6. I like Tampa to win, but I like Carolina to cover the 6-point spread. Now you switch over to the late games on Sunday. You've got Denver traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. I'll take Vegas minus the 3.5. The Raiders, one of those playoff teams that nobody's really talking about right now. You got the Chargers traveling to Miami to take on the Fighting Tuas. Man, you want to talk about a marquee matchup, and one that I'm going to try and make sure that I watch, because that's the one that's got my intrigue and interest the most, is Justin Herbert versus Tua. The guy that was taken 6th overall and the guy that was taken 5th overall in this draft. Like, this should be exciting. This should be something that a lot of us are pointing to and saying that's a game that we want to see. And you look at the Chargers. They're the Chargers, and they're snake bit as hell as a franchise, but Herbert looks like he's the real deal. And Tua played much better in his second start than he did in his first start. The Dolphins have won a couple of games now under him. So they're coming into this game with some confidence and potentially thinking that they might be able to overtake Buffalo in the AFC East. Hey, crazier things have happened. I like the Dolphins in this game. Give me Miami minus the 1.5. Again, another kind of weird spread because I would have thought, the Chargers being as choke ridden as they are and the Dolphins having won a couple of games in a row, surprised more money's not being laid on the Dolphins here. You got Buffalo traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Another kind of marquee type of matchup, Josh Allen versus Kyler Murray. Two playoff teams, you would think. Buffalo coming off of their nice win against Seattle last week. Arizona coming off of their tough loss to Miami last week. I like Arizona in this matchup at home. Give me Arizona minus the 2.5. You got the Seahawks traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites, and I think understand that because the thought being is Seattle's defense can't stop anybody. They just gave up 44 points to the Bills last week. Like, why would you have confidence in them going into Los Angeles and beating the Rams? But then again, when you look at some of these NFC West games, these are really, really hard to predict. These tend to come down to like some crazy-ass finishes. And in those types of games, I'll take Russell Wilson over Jared Goff. So give me the Seahawks to win plus the 2.5. You got San Francisco traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Saints are favored by 9.5. I like the Saints to win, but I do like the 49ers to cover the 9.5 spread. You got Joe Burrow and the Bengals traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. This is another one of these tricky matchups for the Steelers. Bad team. They tend to play down to their competition. That said, it's also a divisional game. Maybe the close win on the road last week against the Cowboys woke them up just a little bit. So I do like the Steelers to win and to cover the 7-point spread. Sunday night, you got the Ravens traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. Man, this 7-point spread for Baltimore feels like people not being either fully bought into the Ravens or more so overrating and overvaluing Bill Belichick's impact here. I like the Ravens minus the 7. And then we get to the Monday night matchup. You got the Vikings and the Bears squaring off in an NFC North showdown. Now, recent history indicates that the Bears have the advantage here. They swept the season series both in 2018 and 2019. But slightly different teams and heading on different trajectories in 2020. The Bears have lost 3 in a row. The Vikings have won 2 in a row. I like the Vikings here. Give me the Vikings minus the 3. So those are my picks for Week 10 of this 2020 NFL season. As always, you're encouraged to go against me. Put your picks in the comments. I'll put all of my picks listed out in the description box, and we'll see how I do after the week, huh? All right, we'll see you later.